This is the Andre Segovia Show.
Greetings everyone and welcome to another episode of the Andre Segovia Show. I'm your host Andre Segovia, and in this one I got another installment of Local Broker Reacts, and this one I'm happy to say it comes from the Epoch Times. Siyamak Khorrami, who does a California Insider, probably the most tuned in program, about on par with China in Focus, hosted by Tiffany Meyer, that I tune into. This is something that they recently did. This is only the 15 minutes or so of the documentary that you can get access to for free if you provide your email, of which I did. I actually subscribed to the Epoch Times so I could see the whole thing, but this is the one that's available for free. I want to give commentary. I haven't seen this documentary. I want to react to you because react to this with you because, well, as someone that's actually covered a lot of documentaries and news clippings of California, even comedy things, I'm always interested in finding more perspectives and nuances to this for why people are leaving California. I mean, I know why they are, but it's always interesting to see more information as time has gone on. And it's probably the longest running reaction series I've done. It's just over 3 years, I think, when I started with the PragerU video, Fleeing California. This was Leaving California, the Untold Story. So apparently there's more information that perhaps I haven't yet seen, despite the fact of hours of reaction videos that I've done. And being on the ground in construction, real estate, and property management, and dealing with the calamity, especially that is Los Angeles, and they use Los Angeles as the backdrop, so not a surprise here. But let's check this out. Without further ado, let's hit play.
I loved California. There was a point in my life where I was all about, I'm going to get a tattoo that says California grown. Like, that is me. I used to love everything about it.
Look at our weather outside today, sunny and 72. We're not having a hurricane.
Diverse geography, talented and diverse population.
Hollywood, the entertainment business, beautiful men and women.
It's really got everything. I mean, it's a nation state.
It had the fifth largest economy in the world.
had.
It has 4 of the top universities rated of the top 25 in the world. So it was very hard to destroy that inheritance.
And destroy it did.
But
Traffic.
we did. And how do you quantify that?
The fact that 300,000 more people left the state than moved in light of California being such a wonderful place, is unbelievable.
People are leaving to go to places that are what once was known as hell, hot Texas or desert Nevada, that have become paradise in their mind. And we took paradise and turned it into hell.
All right, let me stop this right here. Let me see if I can make this screen a little bigger. I don't have a fuller screen, so this probably is as big as I'll be able to make it, folks. So, all right, let's continue. San Diego.
My name is Siyamak Khorrami. I was born and raised in Iran. And I lived in Mexico City.
Really?
And lived in China. But when I came to California, it was like paradise. It was safe, it was always sunny, you could surf all year, it was clean, it was spotless. There were also a ton of opportunities here. My entire family ended up moving here, and I built a technology company. And we finally made it. I really had the best time of my life.
What company was that, Siyamak?
But during the last 10 years, things have really changed.
Oh, yeah.
I was in San Francisco. We parked our car in the parking lot, and there was a gentleman that drove by and started yelling, "Please don't park your car here. Somebody's gonna break into it. There are gonna be 2 crews, they're gonna break into the cars by noon."
I try and warn people parking their cars not to leave anything in their cars. And I've probably saved about 400 people from like getting ripped off because nobody else is doing it. By the time, the cops show up, they're gone.
I went to dinner in LA to a really good restaurant in a good neighborhood.
So you would
It was 9 o'clock. We were done with the dinner, and my friend told me, "Are you sure you're gonna walk to your car?" He said, "Where did you park?" I said, "A block away." He said, "Are you sure you're gonna walk to your car?" And I was shocked. I was like, I'm a grown-up man, and it's a block away. We're in a good neighborhood in LA. It's 9 p.m. Is it really getting that bad?
When my wife became a naturalized citizen, the naturalization ceremony was at the convention center in Los Angeles. We haven't been down to downtown LA in quite a while because we live in Orange County. And afterwards, we had 3 kids, yeah. Our third was really small, so I had to carry him. We loved going to Bottega Louie. They had some of our favorite macaroons. And my wife says, let's go to Bottega Louie. And all right, well, we can drive there. I mean, it's a little annoying having to hunt for parking and pay for more. I said, no, I don't want to pay for more parking. Let's walk there. From the convention center? Well, okay, fine. We walked. We got there. And afterwards, we got back to the convention center twice as fast. She didn't say anything. I know my wife well enough that she doesn't have to tell me anything so I can understand her behavior. So when we got to the car, I'm like, why were you walking so fast? You were almost sprinting on the way back. You know I'm carrying the baby, and with our 2 little kids, we're having a hard time even keeping up with you. I just didn't like walking on those streets. Urine, poop, vagrants. She was stunned how much LA had changed in about a year or two since we had been there. And I told her, that's why I didn't want to walk all the way. So I should have listened to you. We should have just paid for parking. But that was then. It's absolutely worse now.
Around the same time, I was asked to do a show for Epoch Times. It's called California Insider. I didn't think anybody would watch the show. But I ended up interviewing over 300 people, explaining California's issues and challenges in the last 2 years. The first video to go viral was an interview about people leaving the state, an issue no other media talked about in depth. So I decided to fill the gap and started digging. This is the story.
There are many small business owners across the Bay Area who are fed up with the crime and other problems impacting their bottom line.
Oakland community plagued by brazen crime. Businesses and residents say this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Craig, these are small businesses just trying to make a living.
A lot of them have also installed surveillance cameras. Many of them are at their wits' end on how to fight this problem.
So they broke this one. They've tried to break this one. They broke this one. They broke this one. They broke this one. It's about $800 to replace the front door. And then they broke another window that cost about $1,500. So in 2 days, I had to pay $2,300 in windows. Since we put those signs up there, it actually seems no one's tried to break in since.
Wow.
So maybe it is working. You got a bike lock cut right there. Someone's bike was there, right? Wow. Perfect example.
And this is a middle-class neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
I had the opportunity to meet Derek, the owner of a local family-owned laundromat in Oakland, California. His store had been hit by a crime wave so severely that he had to leave the state for himself and his family's safety. As I continued listening to his story, I couldn't believe my ears.
So you're looking at, at least a couple $1,000s in damage, right? Here comes the second one.
Damn.
So this is one of the most egregious ones. They used a stolen truck to ram through the front of the store. This is almost 7 o'clock in the morning, as you can see. We're open. There's customers in there doing laundry. So there was $600 in the ATM. $32,000 in damage.
Wow.
Is what it cost for them to each make $150.
Stupid.
These two guys, this was the only successful one at Lake Merritt. So I had about $1,000 in $5 bills right there.
So this is 7 in the morning, they came in?
Yes, they damaged an entire machine, all to get some of these quarters, right? I mean, everything left, they leave it all open. My customers can't get change. it really affects the business in more ways than just stealing it, right? They just want free money and they have zero respect for anyone else's property. They know they're not going to get in trouble. The penalties out here are nothing. It's all nonviolent crime. A lot of people aren't even reporting crimes anymore.
Derek has been trying to get help from the police.
All those videos that I have of these crimes, there's no way to even upload them. And they won't come get them. I left the thumb drive down at the laundromat for weeks. Right, there they are. Right here they come running out. You'll see the cop right there. He's like, oh, okay. There's a cop right there in the car. No effort. There's zero attempt these days because why? According to, California leaders, that's not a violent crime. And I get it. They're busy. They have more important things to do. And property crime in California is not important to the politicians.
That could be very well true. That they don't see it that way. We have a big issue in California where, not just California, but it's anywhere that's run by these idiot DAs, particularly those that are funded by George Soros, where they're criminalizing law-abiding citizens and rewarding plus incentivizing criminals. You're no cash bail or whatever it is. During the 2020 lockdowns, let's empty the prison cells, but let's make space for those that break the social distancing guidelines or what the WHO is recommending or the CDC is recommending. It's like, oh my goodness, these people are insane. But anyway, there's an article today. It's just the latest of flagship companies leaving San Francisco. Old Navy is the latest one to leave after 30 years having their flagship retail store there, in San Francisco. So a bunch of others have left, and they won't be the last ones to leave. But these are the ones that can leave and move somewhere else. What about like this laundromat? Where's the recourse for them?
Probably the best way I can put it is look at Karen Bass, mayor in Los Angeles. She said California was safe. Then her house was burglarized, 2 guns stolen, and suddenly she reversed and said, no, Los Angeles
she has safe. Guns?
When it affects you personally, then your perspective change. And unfortunately, we have legislators that seem so disconnected from what's actually happening in the state that they're naive or just out of touch with the reality. There is a philosophy that has been embraced by the California legislature that is criminals first, and that it's not fair to people to put them into custody and hold them accountable for their actions. It's as though the legislature doesn't understand the criminal justice system, and yet they feel free to tinker with it anyways.
The final straw for Derek was when criminals came to his home.
Oh, man.
You feel vulnerable in your own home as well, right? I mean, this is the 5 p.m. on a Sunday. You can see up here, you can kind of see my truck right there. You can just see the tail end of it. And there goes my truck. So I took off after them. And I take off. So right on the other side of this hill right here, I pull up alongside of him. And at some point he realizes, oh, this is the owner of the truck. He sideswipes me like this, turns me sideways, and I spin out. And he starts pushing me up the hill.
Damn. The movie.
At some point, I come off, and he jumps out of the car. I jump out of the car, and I tackle him. And as we're wrestling on the ground and stuff, police show up.
And arrest you.
They arrest him. Oh. The guy with the white truck gets away for that day. The other guy goes to jail for 2 days and then gets released out of jail, right? So I don't know what ended up happening. I mean,
in this case, it was the victim of the crime catches the person, something fairly serious, trying to run them over with their stolen vehicle, and yet they're released within a couple days. And it's essentially a revolving door.
I mean, you got to pick a better time to steal someone's car. But it just shows how much they don't care. because they know they're not going to get in trouble. They just happen to pick the one guy in Moraga that would do something.
Had it been not you, they probably would have gotten away, right?
Oh, yeah. Had it been somebody else around here, they probably would have just got away with it.
The Oakland police chief says a revolving door is partially to blame for the violent crime across the city. Criminals get out too soon on bail, and then they're ready to commit more crimes. KTVU's Amber Lee.
The criminal justice system here in the state of California is broken.
A joke. Ah, mi Los Angeles. How much is left? Almost done here.
How safe do you feel walking on the streets of Los Angeles? From a scale of 1 to 10.
I do feel safe. I would say a 10. I feel safe.
In LA's history, the last 10 years, which is the safest, the decade.
Shut up, Garcetti.
Crime dropped.
Go to hell, Newsom.
Shoplifting dropped significantly.
We're safer than we were 20, 30 years ago.
Oh, sure, Gaston.
Funding hundreds of millions to tackle the root causes of crime. That is the California.
Go to hell, man.
Violent crime is way up here in Los Angeles at a rate we haven't seen in decades.
We're living in increasingly dangerous times.
It really does seem like crime is everywhere. It is chaotic. Take a look.
String of smash and grab robberies have Los Angeles on edge.
Watches stolen at gunpoint, drivers and expensive cars targeted, violent robberies on the rise.
Oh, didn't you hear? It's the car manufacturer's fault for making it too easy to be stolen.
That crime has worsened in recent years. And that poll also found that more than 40% of people surveyed would like to move out of the city in the next few years. Many already have.
When I was growing up with my dad's, there was like never any break-ins. And now there's been about 10 to 12 just at Lake Merritt. My dad's had 4 or 5 at his, and my sister's had about 4 or 5 at her, and that's just this year alone. It's gone to a place where you can't live your life the way you want to live your life here anymore. I don't feel like anybody really wanted to leave, but at the same time, nobody really wanted to be here either. You know, we left all of our friends behind. Well, it was a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Derek's story left me wondering if I was in over my head. My own experiences with crime in California paled in comparison.
Skid
But
Row.
crime is just only a part of it.
If a person grows up and does not learn that there are consequences for their actions, then they become an adult that believes there are no consequences for their actions. And when the criminal justice system does not hold...
Government data reveals an unfortunate trend. There is a correlation between when educational institutions are underperforming, high dropout rate, with the surge in criminal activity.
Almost 70% of inmates in the California prison system do not have a high school diploma. I mean, imagine that, 70%. If we don't transform failing schools in which disproportionately high poverty, African American, Latino kids are trapped in failing schools, you're going to find illicit activity, drug running, crime, etc. So they go hand in hand.
Education is not working in California. We've got the lowest scores in the nation, and we have the most expensive school system.
Where's the money going?
Funding is not the issue. It's what we're doing with that money and who's controlling it.
No. That's just a preview. Man, that's good. So I'm gonna watch the whole thing. Like I said, I am subscribed to the Epoch Times and support them. One of the very, very, very few that I do. This was just an excellent little piece. I don't know how long this documentary is, but if that's just the intro, wow. Yeah. mean, I have my own stories of break-ins and all that, but it's not to the extent that the laundromat guy was getting it. That's nuts. That is way too much. That's crazy. Yeah, and we're not in LA living there, but we do commerce there, most of everything. So it's something that I had discussions with individuals and told them we have to leave Los Angeles, at least sell off a lot of our stuff from there. It's gone. And I spoke to a fellow broker who is very successful in a region that that I don't service as much as he does. And it was interesting because we had a luncheon, and the map that he was showing that he services, like, it's interesting that where your cutoff is. And he said, yeah, because anywhere west of that freeway and this other freeway and south of that freeway, no way. There's nothing there. I'm like, yep, that's exactly it. Well, anyway, I recommend you check this out. I'm going to be leaving a link for those interested in the description down below. So for those of you who do this thing on the podcast, these links will be available on the show notes accompanying this episode at www.dangeroussegovia.com. I highly recommend you check out the Epoch Times work. There's an AI aggregator out there called Ground News. They do pull and then they categorize news sites based on their right-leaning, left-leaning, or center-leaning. And then they give the grades about how factual or non-factual they are. Even AI is very biased because you're saying that the Epoch Times is low factuality. It's like, oh my goodness, it's so stupid. So when it comes to like ChatGPT and all that, I say it's only as smart as you let it be. So they've already installed implied biases to these so-called artificial intelligence things. But anyway, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole on this episode, maybe in a future episode, but definitely check this one out. I know I am. And thank you, Epoch Times and Siyamak Khorrami, for covering this. It was only a matter of time till you did something like this, right? So if you're watching, thank you. I'm going to watch the rest of it on my own and in my own time. So that's it for this one. Thank you very much. Remember to like, share, subscribe, stay in the know, and I'll see you in the next one.